Hey girls and guys, welcome back to Linux Fundamentals Part 2. Task 1, we'll be advancing and expanding on our Linux commands and terminology. You'll be learning how to use flags and arguments, copying and moving files, plus running our first few scripts and executables. Task 2, accessing your Linux machine using SSH. Secure Shell, or SSH for short, is the common means of connecting to and interacting with the command line of a remote machine. What is SSH and how does it work? Secure Shell, or SSH, is a protocol between devices in an encrypted form. Deploying your Linux machine. If you've been following along, you should know by now to click the green Start button in the top right hand corner. And if you're using your attack box and you're a subscriber, click Start Attack Box as well. Using SSH to log in to the Linux machine. In the example, we're given the password. And click Start Machine. And we scroll up to the top, start my attack box. Wait for the machine to load. My machine is loaded. I'm going to click here, hit enter. Logging in using SSH. We'll be logging in as TryHackMe user with the password TryHackMe without the quotation marks. There's an example given to us in a highlighted dark blue. Here you can see the example. SSH TryHackMe. I'm going to open up my terminal. Type SSH TryHackMe at 10.10.159.44. Hit enter. Type yes. The password is TryHackMe and hit enter, and we're in. And in the terminal you can see I'm logged in as TryHackMe, and if I type who am I, a previous command we've learned, it says I am TryHackMe. Task 3, flags and switches. A majority of commands allow for arguments to be provided. These arguments are identified by a hyphen and certain keyword known as flags or switches. We'll be going over some of commands that we've already covered, but we'll be adding flags and switches to them to provide more details for us. For example, ls, to view the contents of the directory, I'm going to type ls. You can see on the left in the example there's a folder 1, and on our side we have a my folder, an unknown one, a my file, and an important file. Please take note that files seem to be in white color and directories are highlighted in a blue. Now if you use the same command, the ls command, and you add or tack on -a for all ls-a, it now shows us more files, including hidden files. And as you can see, we have way more displayed in the terminal than the previous time when we just used ls. There you can see in the example it says view hidden folders, and then we can also type help onto the ls command. This lists the options we can use with ls. So if we type ls double dash or double hyphen help, this lists all the possible options that the command accepts and provides a brief description of how to use it. I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm just going to scroll through so you can see there's plenty to go through in your own time. Make notes, test them out, play around, don't be shy. The only way to learn is by trying and pushing and entering all types of commands to see what happens. There you can see on the left and on the right we have the same setup displayed. The manual page is a great source of information for both system commands and applications available on Linux. If you type in man and then ls, it lists the options we can use with ls. Type man and you can see it gives us an example to try it with something. Man, which I've done. And to close out, just type q man ls, and there you can see it's identical to the example on the left. List directory contents, and here on the left, list directory contents. Read through, play around, take notes, type q to quit. Explore the manual page. We've done that. What directional arrow key? It's down. What flag would we use to display the output in human readable way? It's a -H. Task 4, file system interaction. In this task we're going to learn some more commands for interacting with the file system. These commands allow us to create files and folders, move files and folders, plus delete files and folders. Pay attention to the table with the following commands in, such as touch, make dir, cp, move, rm, and file, as well as their purpose. Take good notes. We are going to be using these frequently moving forward. Get used to them. No better way than to make good notes to refer back to while you're busy hacking a machine. Creating files and folders using the touch command as well as make dir. The touch command, I'm going to copy the example, make or create a new file. So I'm going to touch space note, and if I ls, you'll now see we have a file called note. And make dir for make directory is a similar command, creating a directory as per the example. Following along, I'm going to create a new directory using make dir. Type make dir and space my directory. Hit enter. If I ls, you can now see the directory is there. And once again, can you see the directories are highlighted in blue where files are in white? You can see in this folder we have two directories highlighted in blue. It's my directory and my folder. Now removing files and folders or deleting them using the rm command. I'm not going to follow the example and remove the note command because we're still going to use the note file. But to remove a directory, you must type in -R in order to remove a directory. So I'm going to remove ours, rm, capital R, my directory that we made. And if I hit tab, it auto completes. Now if I ls, you can see the my directory folder has been deleted. There's the space where it was. Copying and moving files using cp and mv. If I follow the example, if I copy note into note 2, this automatically creates my folder note 2 for me. If I hit ls, there you can see it's been created for me, note 2. Using mv to move a file. Not only can you use mv to move a file to a folder, but you can use mv to rename a file or folder. As you'll see, if I move note 2 now into a note 3 and I hit enter, ls to see, now you can see note 3 has been created. Determining file types using the file command, using the file to determine the contents of a file. If I type file note, you can see it says it's empty. If I say file note 3, which is also empty, and if I file my file, there you can see it says it's ASCII text as per the example. Questions: how would you create a file named new note? Let's touch space new note on the deployable machine. What is the file type of unknown1 in the TryHackMe home directory? If I ls to see the files and list them, there's unknown1. If I use file for file type, I type file space unknown, hit tab to autocomplete, and there you can see it's ASCII text. How would we move the file, my file, to the directory my folder? I'm going to physically do this in the terminal. I'm going to move my file to my folder, and if I ls, you can see that has taken place. What are the contents of this file? If I ls to list my folder, it says it has my file in it, so I'm going to move into this folder. So I'm going to change directory, cd into my folder, ls, there's my file, and if I cat from our previous commands learned, my file, there is your flag. Task 5, permissions. In the previous task we learned how to extend the use of commands through flags and switches. Take for example the ls command, which lists the contents of a current directory. When we're using the -l switch, we can see 10 columns, such as in the screenshot below. We are only interested in the first 3 columns. These show us permissions. The 3 columns are very important in determining certain characteristics of a file or folder and whether or not we have access to it. On the left, you can see the highlighted RWRRR. Those are the first 3 columns that we are interested in. They stand for read, write, and execute. If you have a look, the R in the column R stands for read. That is correct in interpreting. W stands for write, and an X, which we do not see here, stands for execute. If I type ls lh, there you can see file permissions as per the example. Differences between users and groups. This was in Linux Fundamentals Part 1. Not going to redo it. Switching between users using the su command. su standing for switch user. Read the man page for su to find out more if you're feeling stuck or you're not sure about it. Some of the flags and switches. Questions. If I change directory and ls lh, there you can see again all the permissions in the questions on the deployable machine. Who is the owner of important? Here you can see the important file and the user's name is user2. What would the command be to switch to the user2? That's su space user2. Now switch to this user using password user2. So I'm going to su space user2, hit enter. The password is user2 as given to us, and now you can see the user has changed. I'm now user2 where I was TryHackMe user before. Output the contents of important. What is the flag? So if I ls important, just gives us important. If I cat, this should work. If I cat important, there's your flag. Task 6, common directories, etc, etc, the root directory, one of the most important root directories on the system. If I cd into etc or cd into / etc and I ls, here you can see plenty files and folders. As per the example, the highlighted password and shadow files. If you scroll through this and have a look, you will see here's the shadow, and further up we'll see the password files. Next is var / var, short for variable data. This folder stores data that is frequently accessed or written by services or applications running on the system. If I cd there and ls, as per the example, you can see we have similar files and folders within var. We have a few more. Here's root / root. Root is actually the home folder for the root system user, and if I cd into root, you can see it says permission denied because I am not the root user, I am user 2. Root is the boss. Temp, short for temporary, only needed to be accessed once or twice. It's similar to the memory on your computer. Once the computer's restarted, the contents of this folder is cleared out. I cd'd into it and ls for you to see. Play around, do the same. The answers to the questions are in the article above. I'm not going through them. Task 7, conclusions and summaries. Feel free to continue playing around, messing with the commands, moving around in the different directories. I'd like to show you girls and guys another permissions command that I've come across while I've been learning. I'm going to open up a full screen just so that it's easier and nicer to view. I'm now in full screen. Just going to stretch this out so that it makes the lines easier to read. Now with permissions, we've already been over it with the ls-lh command. Here you can see if I type it, there's your commands. There's your permissions. If I cd back out of this, and if I type lsla, so it's ls-la, it gives us or shows us the permissions as well. Great command. Write it down, take notes, so you can use both ls-lh or ls-la. Task 7's questions, no answer needed. Task 8, fundamentals part 3, there's 2 questions, no answer needed. Exit out, close down the machines, terminate them. Thank you for watching.